Matt Stamper. I am the Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, and Executive Advisor at Evotech. I've been a proud member of ISACA for more years than I'll admit, but there's gray hair on the temples there. I'm really excited about what ISACA is doing with respect to privacy, the certifications that are coming out, especially around solution engineering for privacy. So very excited to be expressing my interest in and the background that I have relative to privacy in what ISACA is doing. Yeah, I think privacy at the heart of it is about trust. If I give my information to an organization and they use it in a way that I did not intend, or if they have a data breach and my information wasn't protected as I had hoped, that actually reduces my trust in that organization. And likely as a consumer, I'm going to head another direction. I think certainly one of the things that we want to see is that when organizations build out privacy programs that are reflective of the consumer's best interest, it engenders trust. It kind of adds to that bank of goodwill. When organizations do things inappropriately with the information that's been conveyed to them, it diminishes that trust. And I think the focus on how do we know what type of information's been collected, how it's being used, where it's being shared, do we have the appropriate controls over that information? Do we manage consent appropriately? All of these things in the aggregate are very good in terms of building out trust. And organizations that I think that build out good, solid privacy programs, in fact, that's a topic of a book that I'm working on for first quarter in 2021, is really similar to it. It builds enterprise value. So I think the focus on privacy to me strikes me as a very reasonable expectation. Yeah, I would say privacy over the long haul will be a ubiquitous corporate domain or enterprise domain, something that all organizations should focus in on. What we're seeing clearly with the CPRA, which is an amendment or an extension, if you will, the California Consumer Privacy Act, the CCPA, that fundamentally the number of records counts. So how much personal data do I have? If it's a 50 million record or 100 million or 50,000 or 100,000 more appropriately, is important. There are derogations as a case in point in the GDPR for smaller organizations. But at the heart of it, if you have data and you don't understand how it's being used and protected, it becomes an unfunded liability if there's a data breach. So I think organizations large and small are well served being proactive and very thoughtful about their privacy programs and the underlying tools and applications and technologies that are supportive of the data that they're collecting and the privacy program that they built. I've always enjoyed collaborating with attorneys that are focused in on privacy, especially those that are more technically oriented. A lot of the privacy attorneys that I know are literally fully booked dealing with data breaches. And I think, a collaboration between technical audiences and legal audiences focused on data governance, data privacy, ends up making the whole of the solution certainly more viable, stronger for the organization. Effectively, you really do need the legal context of what's occurring with respect to privacy regulation, whether it's the APPI in Japan, the PDPB in India, the GDPR in Europe, the CPRA here in California, ad nauseum. The number of regulations that are coming out that are requiring reasonable security and good privacy governance is pretty remarkable, but it also needs to be complemented with that governance, security, system view of the enterprise. And I think the combination of the two is certainly a very, very strong approach for an organization. Having that legal context complemented with the technical and governance context really make sure that if you're addressing something legally, that the underpinning technology and governance elements are there. Absolutely. And certainly you're not putting technology and governance without an appropriate legal or regulatory context. This same. I have my SIP US as well as a number of ISACA certifications, including the CDPSE. That's something that I felt was a natural complement and a natural extension of some of the privacy work that I had done elsewhere. And I think, again, the combination of governance, security, technology, complementing that with the requisite foundation and privacy knowledge is just a very, very clear-cut extension, a natural extension, if you will, of where we need to go with our certifications, where we need to go with our industry knowledge. One of the things that I'm seeing very clearly is privacy is driving organizational change in many companies. Privacy is becoming a topic within the board of directors, and individuals that are effectively bulking up on their privacy knowledge I think are going to have a much higher likelihood of being at that proverbial table to help drive good decisions, good change within their organization as it relates to their privacy, security, and governance programs. So it's a natural extension, from my view, a perfect complement. I think what will be interesting as we enter 2021 is just the preponderance of data breaches that we've seen in 2020, which is a natural extension of what we saw in 2019 and years previous. So really understanding how do we protect and govern personal data for organizations is going to be important. And what we'll find is many organizations are going to be in a ideally post-pandemic world where their employees are operating in a hybrid environment, sometimes working at home or working from anywhere, as well as working back at the office. So being able to appropriately understand, adequately secure how personal information is governed in that context is going to be a unique challenge. Yeah, I would say organizations that don't take privacy seriously do so at their own risk. They certainly face significant challenges with respect to a data breach. In other words, they've got consumer data, protected health information, personal data, and the like, and that gets exposed. Well, clearly there'll be regulatory challenges, potential reputational damage, et cetera. I think what we're finding very matter-of-factly is that the topic of privacy is growing within organizations. It's certainly something that is discussed at the executive leadership team and the board of directors more frequently, primarily in the context of data security and the like. But as we discussed earlier, privacy can help build good trust and build enterprise value and reputation for an organization. So I think privacy, trust, and in thinking through, do we have the right applications, the right tools, the right technology in place to kind of manage consumer data appropriately is going to be a seminal question for many executive leaders. Yeah, I think ISACA's Certified Data Privacy Solution Engineer, the CDPSE, is a very solid certification for individuals in this profession. It marries governance, it marries security, marries underlying kind of assessment and audit, as well as the privacy disciplines together. So I think it's a great first certification for people that are exploring this area. And like all the other ISACA certifications, tends to have a lot of gravitas in the market. It's something that is highly respected and frankly demanded in many organizations.